Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C Critic. I hope you're doing well. Yet another episode. This one with a special PSA for Nollywood filmmakers and a plea from me somewhere hidden in this. It's somewhere in the bad section. It's a long bad section, as you can see. Yes. But I hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing Thinline.
Hello everybody, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We discuss Nollywood every Sunday, 6 p.m. Not 6 p.m. where we are today. But we will be discussing Thinline today. We'll discuss what we like in the good. We'll discuss what we did not like in the bad. Disagree and push back. And we'll do a summary at the end. Alright, so Mrs. C, what did you not like about Thinline? What did you not like about Thinline?
What did we not like?
What did you not like?
No.
Oh, sorry, what did you like? Freudian slip.
Right. What did I like about Thin Line? That's a very good question. Thank you for this question. Yvonne Jigidi. I liked Yvonne Jigidi. She sounded like she was about that life. Which is more than I can say for most. But yeah, I liked Yvonne Jigidi. I think she sold it. Who else did I like? You know what? I don't know, I think the opening church scene, the very first church scene, I thought Uzo was doing a decent job as the pastor. As somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience with pastor and church, but yeah. I thought I was doing alright. I was really actually having a good time with that. What else did I like about Thin Line? No, I've tried my best. Well, that nice one, by the way. Oh, the boo-boos. I like Messi Aigbe's boo-boos.
All right. Alana, do you want to tell us what you liked about Thinline?
Hi. Yeah. Good evening. What I liked about Thinline. Let me hear what. I liked Yvonne Jegede. She actually made me laugh in this. Like her character was very funny. Her performance was also very funny. I enjoyed like watching her when the police officer showed up and was like, trying to, I guess, trying to speak to her. And she was talking about, I know this girl now. I don't tell us I go kill her. Like, I actually laughed very hard when she was doing that. I also liked Nkechi Blessing as Edna, her sidekick, and when the police officer showed his badge, the way she ran and screamed, I thought that was very funny. So yeah, I really appreciate Yvonne Jagede and Nkechi Blessing in this. I like this guy. What's his name? God, I can't recall his name. Itele, I think that's his name. The icon. Yeah, I also thought his character was also quite funny in a way. And yeah, off the top of my head, that's all I can recall for now. Yeah. Why is this place so empty?
Thinline. Thank you, Alan.
That's a very good question. And I like also empty. Did we suffer alone? I mean, did we watch this alone?
I think this came out a few weeks ago, so the vim from some people is dead, I guess.
Gotten out of their system. Must be nice. I should have watched it a few weeks ago too if I knew you were going to do this to me.
Alright, so things I liked. Everybody's mentioning Yvonne Jagede, but yeah, I have to say that Yvonne Jagede is somebody who it feels like I've discovered late in her discography as somebody who is really still able to do interesting things. I think, was it Adire that, Adire was the first time I noticed her, and she's playing a different kind of Raz in that one. Oh, I'm not going to say Raz, but locale. Because that time she's playing a village woman that hadn't seen anything, a naive village woman, right? That this babe would come and open her eye for her a little bit. Yeah, but like even checking it, like real shout out to her, because like there's a certain type of role she could be playing, and she could be playing more comfortably, but she's really putting herself out there. Um, um, that guy, the American guy, I kind of liked him in a weird way, and then I liked the old guy who what's her name?
Iyabo Ojo.
Iyabo Ojo was doing Iyabo Ojo's husband in this film. I really enjoyed him. I thought he had great comedic timing. He barely repeated like comic lines, which is very normal for a lot of people. And I thought like him and Iyabo Ojo actually had very good chemistry. Shout out to Jay Montana's BBL.
That's not in the good section.
It fits the role. This is the one time a BBL has fit a role.
Fair.
So
Great
casting. Yes, good casting.
No one valid, because in complaining about
we can care about BBL.
Village girl or using veneers to act this thing.
Yeah. So this is the first. So alright. So those were my favorite. Uzarikwe had some okay moments. That's me stretching, to be honest. That's as far as I can go. I'm sorry. Alright. Okay. I tried for the film. There was one shot at the beginning that was the transition from the pastor speaking to it went into the monitor.
Uche's character, just watching him.
Yeah. I thought that was a nice transition. I think
So again, I know it's seeing the pastor and then seeing her in the shower, then it's monitor. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, that was a nice transition. I thought that was cool. I think there were maybe one or two other things like that were like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's just that the bad section was so heavy on my heart that
you forgot we had
yeah. All right, let's talk about the things we did not like. All right. Oh God. Alana, do you want to take us away?
My thoughts are a little scattered, so I don't know the order in which I want to put it out, but the acting was hectic. It was it was so heavy to watch, and at some point I was like, make everybody relax now. Men are free na chest now. It's they saw how much them pain and no deep like that. Like it was so heavy. So many scenes, so many people just doing too much, and not doing too much in a very extravagant way, but doing too much in like say person like they were acting like they were running on fufu. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just very heavy. And then the whole mystery thing with the whole who killed her. I'm sorry, but I was, as soon as I heard that this lady had died, I already knew that it would be pastor's wife. I just knew it to be pastor's wife. Then I just left the movie and came back like 2 weeks later to finish it, to discover that it was pastor's wife. And I'm sorry, but some of the clues they found, but they were not cluing. Like even the woman that her earring dropped. I'm sorry, but the first thing I thought when I saw that I found an earring thing and I saw that big earring, I was like, why would you wear this kind of earring to commit harassment, murder, beat somebody up? It's just not practical, like I was like, when you're like, oh, she wore a tracksuit and the person wore a tracksuit and a hoodie. I was like, so you wore tracksuit and hoodie only to go and wear that big earring that people wear to wedding to go and are you serious? Please, that event when you are going for things like that, please, for those of you who plan to block somebody, it's a pin earring you wear if you must wear earring, like something light, something that will not drag your ear down, because that was gold. It looked like gold and it was rather big. So I imagine that it was, obviously too heavy for that kind of movement. And then the police officers, hey, God, I beg. I've been a detective, now they call them. I was, hi, God. That scene where they were showing Mercy Ibe's character, like when they were talking to her about, oh, your husband wanted your husband was more interested in a prostitute. Ah, God, I knew the 3 or 4 American movies that they watched before they shot that scene, and they were like, oh, of course I can pull off the same thing, and it didn't give. It didn't. Ah, God, everything. Hi, like there was, I'm sure that there was some form of inspiration behind a lot of these things here, and somebody had watched a couple of American movies and thought to themselves, I could give my own Denzel kind of like performance here or something like that, and it wasn't Denzel, it was Desmond Elliot I was seeing. You people, please, God. God will help us, Sha. God will help us. God bless everybody involved. Yeah, that's all I can remember for now.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Where to start? All right, Mrs. C, take us away. You probably want to start with the most important thing.
So, Thinline. I'm going to start light.
Okay.
I'm going to start light with the fact that I've never been happier to see a lead die. I mean, I've hoped for a lead to die. I was quite disappointed. I won't call the name of that film yet because we have not reviewed it. But I've never been so happy to see a lead die. And it's because I couldn't stand her acting. Every time Uche Montana opened her mouth throughout this film, I wanted to put a sock in it. I wanted to put a sock in her mouth or large socks in my ears so I didn't have to live with it. And I started asking Mr. C, she will kill her soon. She's going to die so I don't have to keep up with it. And the character did die and I was so grateful. And all I was hoping for was that we will not get flashbacks so I don't have to hear more. And lo and behold, it gave me flashback. But okay, it was not too much. I appreciate that. Maybe I should have put that in my good section that they killed that quicker. I'm sorry. Her acting was awful. We're really bad at seduction in Nollywood. And it felt like morning to night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, this character was trying to seduce. Probably even in her prayers to the Lord, she was trying to put on that voice. And it grated my ears, the most grating thing I've ever heard. Next, oh my God. I know we're really bad at handling essay in Nollywood.
Essay by, what do you mean by essay?
Sorry, sexual assault.
Okay.
We're really bad at handling sexual assault in Nollywood. Really, really bad. But I don't know if this film was aware that this guy was sexually assaulted. I don't know. I know none of the characters were aware he was sexually assaulted. But I don't know if this film was aware he was sexually assaulted. And I don't know, maybe it could come under all of the trauma and still, I don't know, right? The self-blame, whatever. When he's, confessing to his wife with, I betrayed you and I didn't want to betray you again and all of and what have you. And but I still don't know. And I really want this film to be aware that was SA Like, I hope everybody, I hope the film is aware, because it didn't seem like they were aware, and it didn't seem like anyone in this film was aware, because even when him and his wife are having that conversation in prison after she's been arrested, and, you know, he's apologizing, and, you know, he's really sorry, and all, and it's like, okay, no, you did get essayed, and then she tried to frame you for murder after you got essayed. Sure. My next gripe with this film is they have characters making decisions that, yes, humans are allowed to make bad decisions, but I feel like they just need things to be happening. Because we open up with this babe robbing a guy who is awake, but she no carry gun. Now, I don't have experience robbing Johns, but I imagine if one were to rob a John, you do it while he's not awake, right? Not awake talking to you from the next room, and not when you have to run for your life while he's shooting at you with a gun. I was amazed that she was only just getting murdered, and that it was a woman that murdered her. Because what is all this rough play she has been playing with men and she's still alive? I don't understand it. What do you mean she got shot at by a guy who picked her up from a place that she was going to go back to the following night, and who knew where to go find her and make noise that somebody he picked up from here robbed him? I'm sorry, what? What do you mean she was using her government name, the name that they used to announce her obituary on TV, as her sex worker name, while she was also robbing these customers? What do you mean? Do armed robbers put their government name outside when they're about to rob you, your money or your life? My name is Emeka. Who is this character and why? What do you mean she picked up by the road that she will probably come back to tomorrow, followed him home, and then, by the way, Akay Mason would do jail. He would do jail. Because when she was putting her mask and her whip in her purse, I was wondering where she was going. I thought maybe she had appointments with somebody that has already been set up. Because not everybody they used to flog. But okay, cool. Anyway, it makes sense that character enjoyed being whipped. His wife used to punch him every day. But it's true, I should slap him, and I know that didn't turn him on. That's why he was baby anyhow, so that she would date him once. But like, I'm sorry. That character was begging to be killed, right? She was begging to be murdered. What do you mean she drugged, essayed a man, took pictures of him, and then stayed in the room for him to wake up? Do we not have it? I think this one has forgotten that men are violent. It has forgotten. This is a only women do violent shit, the movie, right? Because it's only a woman that is a thief and a blackmailer. It's only a woman that is a murderer and framer. It's only a woman that is slapping her husband around the house. Only women do violent shit in this movie. And I think that's what we're running with, because I don't understand how she hasn't been murdered. I don't understand what anyone's motivations are. Again, I don't know how we have this second essay where he's been blackmailed into, fucking this woman. And I know he has not transferred the 10 million that same day, right? But he's done this and come straight home to tell his wife. And I'm so confused, because why did we write him coming back to tell his wife after this time, right? If we were going to tell her anyway, why we writing him doing this and telling her? We already have blackmail evidence, right? We didn't need this second essay. I know they want to put it as, oh, it's him she wants, right? Which again, whoever wrote this, they just wanted things to happen because they don't know who any of these characters are. Nobody knows who any of these characters are. Who is this character? Why does she want him? Why is okay, cool, sure, whatever. Also, I'm sorry, they've written this guy as a man of God. Like he's the real deal. That's what they've written him as, the real deal. And I'm watching him have that conversation with the person who's blackmailing him. and she's like, I'm going to whatever, your career is going to end, right? You need to pay me 10 million and you need to give up some dick. And I'm thinking, okay, they've put this guy as the real deal, and all I'm thinking is Joseph, Potiphar's wife, right? If this is like a serious, severe man of God, I have faith in God, which they put him as, I'm sorry, wouldn't you be making like Joseph and being like, you know what, whatever the consequences, my God will see me through. I'm going to go home and tell my wife. Because he still went home to tell his wife. So why did Akay Mason tell them to shoot this man giving her back shots?
Because
This film was egregious. This film, we could have, sorry, not me telling them how to shoot essay, right? It's not me that will tell, because I've come to realize that we are gratuitous about essay in Nollywood. It does not matter if the victim is male. It does not matter if the victim is female. The victim is female, we must show disgusting rape face. We must, hear all that aggression. And I guess if the victim is male, we need to show him giving back shots, being reading, doing it from the side, and anything else you can think of. Because we're going to shoot this as sex, not as essay. Right? So we're not going to have a rehash of what happened when she drugged him. No, we're going to have him active in this, and we're going to shoot it from angles, and we're going to make him make some faces of ecstasy before looking like a kicked puppy, because we have problems. We have problems. We have problems. Have I said we have problems? I have problems. Anyway, dishonorable mention, the detectives. Because also, what do you mean? And also, what do you mean we let Americana go after we arrested his wife? Is it only me that heard him admit to attempted murder? He said he shot at her. He said, I shot at her and she got away. They should have stopped looking for anybody. In fact, after he said that, handcuff, do jail. Okay, no, we have found the person that actually killed him. Okay. But you two, you will do jail for attempted murder. And I'm sorry. I know. You don't need to be burying yourself in realism and all of that, but it just seemed like so much aggro over the death of a random sex worker in Nigeria. Like, let's be for real, right? We could have at least given her some status, right? But no, we're doing this large scale investigation. We're picking up pastor from pulpits. You think anybody is picking up any of these Nigerian pastors, big ones, from pulpits because somebody died? Some woman in Nigeria? Okay, cool. Anyway, let me not talk. They'll say I'm looking for realism. I'm not looking for realism. I'm just telling you people it was really hard to suspend my disbelief. It was really hard. My disbelief was not suspending. It was heavy on me, pressing me down. Anyhow, I give up. This film was egregious, and a lot of people need to do jail. A lot of people need to do jail.
Wow. Oh, okay, Vanessa join. Okay, Vanessa, you can go. You can tell us both either what.
Sorry for the
I
late
was
entry, guys.
like,
It was a trauma response over the fact that I spent 3 hours watching what was honestly what I believe was a cook rant. Yeah, and I decided I was going to use this weekend to clear my brain off of what Omoni Obuli did to me. So I had been watching Hypotential, and then I realized it was 6:30. Yeah, I watched this like 2 weeks ago when I thought Mr. C was gonna have us talk about it, and I thought we had escaped, but apart Mr. C said no, I will put you all through hell regardless. So here we are. I did not rewatch this. Obviously, I can't do this to myself twice in one weekend. I already suffered from watching Saga, Adeolu's first film. And then I followed it up with Omoni Obuli's 3-hour joke. So yeah, it's not been a great weekend for me, innit? Things I liked about Thinline. What's there to like? Guys, this is hysteria. I don't think if you guys can tell. What did I like? Uche Montana's beauty, Mercy Aigbe's beauty. Two incredibly beautiful women just glistening all over the screen. Wonderful for us. Yeah, and that's about it. What did I not like? Quite literally everything about this film. And I remember when this film was in cinemas and everyone was talking about how, it was part of the 3 big December films back then, and everyone was talking about how this was the better option of the 3. So I just want to ask people, what did Funke Akindele and Toyin Aimakun give you people that December for you people to say this was the better of the 3? Because I don't know what we are watching in Nigeria. Yeah, where do we start? Do we talk about the handling of sexual assault in this? The fact that Jehovah, the fact that this man goes on to be coerced, and then we film it as erotica. I don't. What are we doing? What are we doing? We film it as erotica, and we're supposed to believe Akay Mason is a great director. Like what are we doing? My thing is, what was the purpose of this? What was the purpose of this film? I'm inclined to believe with Mrs. C that this was just a women do bad things to journey. Because there genuinely was no purpose to this. What was the point of this film? I am yet to discover it because I don't understand the reasoning behind it. None of it made any sense. So his wife commits murder and he's let go, and so he's sat at home, even though he was sexually assaulted, coerced to continue. I don't know, because we can't even call it an affair because it never was in the first place. What are we doing? The acting was horrible. Guys, I'm a huge Uche Montana stan. That's my baby girl from now until tomorrow. But I don't know what we were doing in this film. I don't know what Uzo Arukwe was doing in this film. I don't know what anybody was doing in this film. Everybody that was involved, I have nothing specific to say about this film because I am being plagued by Nollywood as a whole. I just think everybody involved in the making of mainstream Nollywood must be on the lowest grade crack cocaine, because the things that everyone comes together in writers' rooms, on sets, in editing rooms, in all of the things, and then provide to us as a final product is genuinely bullshit. It's nonsense. I don't know. It's hit after hit after hit, and we're just being hit with radical bullshit. Complete nonsense. For the past how many weeks now? Yes, a couple films have come out. We've been spacing it out due to what do we call it? Not availability on streaming and all of that bullshit, and how they are leaving our countries and have left for the past 1 year. But even the films that are happening back to back in cinemas, people are coming out and people are appalled. So what are we doing as an industry? I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. Everyone is on cheap drugs, and I love myself way too much to continue to be indulging in this. Genuinely, the fact that I sat down for 3 hours to watch what Omoni Oboli dished out to me on Friday is an indictment on myself and my self-love. And I promise you all, it will never repeat itself again. It will never repeat itself again. I hope you people know, Mr. C, this is not even going to be a Vanessa is not showing up to NFC because she has a life. This is going to be Vanessa self-preservation. If I read the plot line of anything, if I read the synopsis of anything that we're discussing on NFC, and I see that this thing is nonsense and is going to cause me headache, I'm not watching. I'm not coming to waste my saliva to talk about nonsense. On the bare minimum, what are we yapping about? Even Farmer's Bride that everybody was screaming about when it was in cinemas, we discussed it last week. Rubbish and ingredient, Loshe. So what are we all doing with ourselves? What is me? Wallahi, I'm tired. Thank you very much. I'm done. I'm so tired. I'm suffering.
Hey, look, you know what? And sometimes some people will be asking me, Mr. C, how far the podcast? And Honestly, that podcast takes like about 45 minutes, an hour to do after this. And after such a heavy period of sometimes an hour and a half, whatever it may be of this, plus life that can be happening outside of, all of this NFC stuff, is actually quite insane that I kept on uploading the podcast for as long as I did. But, at some point we will return, but I actually support this ministry. It's just like so weird that it's difficult to be in this position where, like the role is to, let's come and discuss about Nollywood every week. But sometimes, honestly, it's true. Like you need to give yourself both a break. You need to say there's nothing to talk about after a while, or I need to find something else Nollywood related that doesn't have to do with our films, because we've been pretty bad for a minute. So let me talk about some of the things I did not like. Let's start with I was thinking about Weekend Getaway. I was thinking Uche Montana getting killed for
Weekend to Forget.
a Weekend to Forget, sorry. Weekend to Forget. Sorry, I forgot the name. A Weekend to Forget. Uche Montana playing somebody who is eyeing somebody's man, getting killed. Murder mystery. I was like, okay. So, we're rehashing somewhat familiar footsteps. Uche Montana is playing a familiar role, a role to play before. Maybe this is going to be better, an improvement. Now, it actually makes sense that Uche Montana was as deeply unlikable as she was, because in a murder mystery, the person who gets offed early on, it's always usually unlikable. It's so that, you can just concentrate on the murder mystery and not feel bad about, somebody getting offed. But you don't usually just spend so much time watching this unlikable character just from place to place. It was just, usually she ran out up in the first 10 minutes, but we had to watch Uche Montana trying to be sexy for 45 minutes, an hour, whatever that version of trying to be sexy. And I don't know why. I have to think that it's an insecurity thing, that when they ask some of these female people to be sexy, that they have to do this version because, if it's not sexy, well, it's not me generally trying to be sexy. It's me acting as, somebody, because I don't believe any of these people actually think what they're doing is, I don't believe any of these people act this way when they're trying to seduce in real life, because it's unbelievable to me. It's almost like sometimes when you put some people to do, some people who have certain accents, if they're from a certain place, they exaggerate the accent so to give distance between, this is not actually how I really sound or something like that. But I just thought this was very difficult to watch. Mrs. C talked about she doesn't know if this movie knows, she's unsure if this movie knows this was sexual assault. I feel very confident that this film doesn't know that what happened to the character is sexual assault, because nowhere in this film does anyone refer to this as sexual assault. No one ever, it doesn't come up in any way, because all that happens to the pastor's character afterward is treated like he sinned. It's consequences of his bad actions. Now, I would say that for the second thing that he did, he definitely put himself he was stupid. He put himself in a bad place. And in a bad place for him to get taken advantage of. Right? But at least the first one, right? The first one is caught what's the thing? Cut and dry. Cut and dry, like just sexual assault.
Sorry, I just want to interject with you on this second one even, right? It's just circling back to this film being women do bad things too, because that's a very dangerous position to put yourself in with a man that you're blackmailing.
All right.
But
so I don't, at no point in this film, because like the whole of his wife's arc is she needed to punish him for the horrible thing that he did. Everything is just treated as his transgression. He has to ask for forgiveness, right? The whole movie plays out like he messed up, like it was one of his, it's just like another random day where a pastor just mistaken, accidentally slips and falls inside vagina. So this film doesn't know that, and that's troubling for all the people involved, from writing to directing. Again, Vanessa mentions the way the second one was being shot, and definitely the way it was written in terms of the way everybody's motives and the way everybody discusses and handles the issue. It feels like the first one. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Mrs. C has already spoken about it in an extended, So I want to touch on this men and women are displayed, the way men and women are displayed in the film. And as I can't remember who said it first, but yeah, I would just think about it. It's absolutely true. It seems true. And maybe this might just be, I haven't looked at the writer. I don't know who wrote this, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a guy. But like, it does feel like all the guys are this aloof, just, kind of goofy, trying their best, not that all the flaws of the men in here are like either like it's forced on them or they're just being goofy. Like the guy who is shooting at Uche's character, like he did steal from her and he's goofy with his, like he's not actually a menace. He's not this evil person trying to kill her. It's kind of a goof, right? And then even the guy who tried to cheat on his wife, he's a goof. He's like, it's very funny in it, don't get me wrong, but like, it's not anything to be taken seriously. Who is the horrible looking person amongst both of him and his wife? It's his wife. His wife is this like really, this prosecuting horrible person who's like, how dare you it's almost like, oh, guys, watch out when the woman's wears the pants in the house or making money. Like, I was like, hey, honestly, no, the only guy who is sort of closest to normal is the guy detective. And honestly, the female detective I think the female detective is more ruthless, less sympathetic, more unforgiving, and not as sharp as the male detective as well. Like, it feels like the female one is carrying her emotions a little bit too much on her sleeve. So, I wouldn't be surprised by, I don't know what's going on in the psyche of, I don't know whether it was in the writing or in the directing, or both, but there's certainly something going on in the psyche of what was, of the making of this movie, which I can understand, having been prompted. So the film's writing is awful, obviously. It's, I think, the biggest sin in this. Uche Montana's character just doesn't know. She's just whatever it needs to be. Like Mrs. C said, sex work is one of the most dangerous works in Nigeria. Yet this woman is doing it on dangerous mode. The most dangerous mode you can do it. Like she's threatening men. She's doing it at times where she can be easily gotten at. It's actually crazy. And then the worst part of this is that at some point, at some point when this what's her name pastor's wife Mercy
Ibe's character.
Mercy Agbe's character confronts Uche Montana's character like why why, and she's going like, you think it's about the money? I'm like, what's going on here? You've been the whole first part of this movie is you stealing money. What do you mean? Do you think this is about the money? Why wouldn't anyone think this is about the money? Like, and then we're actually supposed to believe it based on this, I want you. But like Mrs. C said, where does this come from? Why? Based on what? Because all we know about this babe until now is it's about the money. It's about stealing from the Johns. So where did this come from? Where is it going to? I have no idea how somebody thought that was, I have no idea how somebody thought that this character, again, doesn't even have to be likable, but if you're going to be there for that long, at least make it make sense, make it work for what you're trying to do. I don't know why we needed to introduce her as wanting the pastor, for her. It didn't make any sense. And then this one is a small thing, but at the end where they get Yvonne Jegede to turn up, it's like, what do we? Yvonne Jegede turns up at the end. It's like, what are we insinuating? Like that Yvonne Jegede is here to do? Like what can she do? Are you insinuating like what we've been watching, like the pastor, like misstepped and got entangled with a sex worker? Is that what we're insinuating? Because like, why are you leaving that like that's a cliffhanger? Because the guy who we saw is a guy who would not entertain that kind of thing. Again, another thing to tell you that this film doesn't know that the pastor was sexually assaulted. Like, spiking somebody's drink and having sex with them is not okay, guys. I don't know who needs to learn it, hear this in Nollywood. That's a crime. It's an actual crime. It's not something that you can do and it's I got you to, I toasted you into her. It's not, that's not okay. Nollywood, I beg you. Anyway, yeah. All right. Equal reviews. What did you like and what did you not like about Thinline?
Hello guys, good evening. Equi reviews here. Well, I saw the movie a few days ago. I also did a review on my YouTube for anyone who's interested. But the very first thing I noticed was that, first of all, the font for Thinline is the same font for Suspicion. So I get the idea that it was designed by the same designer. That's the movie poster. So they just used the same font, which I thought was quite low effort. Now, the first thing I thought about, which someone mentioned as I was joining, was, first of all, in the first maybe 25 minutes of the movie, I was very surprised that Uche Montana was still alive, like just on general principles. Because if this were real life and you were used to stealing thousands of dollars and you still hang out at a spot where all the men know that they can pick you, you would have been dead like very quickly, like a long time ago. I did not get that at all. And I thought that there was some sort of wisdom by naming her Annabelle Coca, because I thought that there would be some story where, that the Coca family of Victoria Island. I thought that maybe she was from old money or something, and she rebelled against her parents and then decided to do prostitution and then to get blackmailed. Then I start blackmailing people to live back on her former life. But I was very, embarrassed and sad that the scriptwriter did not even have like any sort of three-dimensional thinking at all in the writing. It was just a one-track story. the coca for a prostitute was very surprising to me, but unfortunately it meant nothing to the movie. Then the actual reason for the blackmail, which I could not figure out why she fixated on the pastor. I have no idea what she was yapping about. First of all, it's not about the money, but you were stealing money at the beginning. And when he gave you 300K in the hotel room, you looked at it and you were like, me, 300K. And you still took the money, even though it was not about the money. Then somehow, after you got pregnant, you began to quote Bible verse. Is it Hosea or whatever, that Hosea married a prostitute? So wait, was the plan that you would take your pregnancy like on TV for a popular pastor? I was so confused. I'm like, was this person retarded? Who was writing this stuff? Like, I was so confused. I'm like, so whenever I watch these things in my head, I used to, in my head, every story is like a timeline. So there's like a long line, and then the plots branch out from the top and from the bottom of it. Sometimes plots interweave, which is where like, so a story circles back to another story behind it or in front of it. But this one was just one straightforward gibberish. Like, I was, okay, so the police people, we had two police people who, after all their police work, ended up not even catching the criminal. So if not that Messi Agbe got frustrated and just said, yes, I did it. What police work did they actually do? I have no idea. Where the earring came from, I have no idea. Where the complete set came from. Why did she look panicked when... Man, I was just watching that. My body was just itching me like this. Now, weirdly enough, unlike what many people have said, I think this is the first time people who on my YouTube, I don't have any love for Uche Montano. I think she is a horrible actress. I hate the way she is utterly unable to modulate her voice. She whispers or she screams. There is no normal talking voice for her. I first saw her in that movie where she had like a child with her sister, something. Rose and Ivy, yeah. Beyonce Stevens. Roses and Ivy, and I said, who is this fine but very talentless person? And for that, I was nearly murdered in my in my comment section. But in this particular movie, I think that she actually tried, because she did not do that modulation, that weird voice modulation too much. I think I actually liked her. In fact, my biggest surprise was that Messi Aigbe and Uche Montana were the same height. It really shocked me when it got to the fight scene and they were talking to themselves and they were facing each other and they were nose to nose. And I'm like, wait, what? They are the same, because I've seen Messi Aigbe in real life before, like many years ago, and she looked like a bottle of water. So I was just surprised that, wait, so if Uche Montana, because of that, I had to rewind back to the beginning of the movie to see her in high heels and I was like, oh, wow. So this is like Lil Kim or something. But in the end, I thought it was very badly written. I looked out for the writer's name, but I think it was female. Somebody was saying that it might be me, but I think the writer had a female sounding name, which I thought was quite disappointing, because I'm like, at least, maybe if this person doesn't know how men behave in real life, maybe a male should have joined the writing team, because this girl would not be alive if she had ever robbed somebody with a gun. In my head, it just made no sense to me. The other funny Yoruba guy, the old guy who was being harangued by his wife. Yes, he seemed to have called some boys to do something to the girl, but nothing came out from the story. So why was that? So there were like so many opportunities that you could have in plotting out the imaginary plot line or timeline of your story. There are so many things that could have circled back. It could have been an accident. It could have been a coincidence. Maybe two killers all at once from the different factions, and then make it an actual whodunit. But unfortunately, I did not realize that we were watching a whodunit until like the last 30 minutes of the movie, because I just kept watching and I'm like, okay, where is this going? And then towards the end, I'm like, oh, this is supposed to be a whodunit, like that, a weekend to forget. It was just unfortunate that maybe the writer had never actually seen one. Maybe it was written like somebody told the writer what a whodunit is like, and then the writer began to write her first script based on it, not like an actual movie. So for the things that I liked, to be honest, I don't think there's anything that I could point out, because the movie had no cinematography to speak of, right? It's not like there was no audio, no cinematography. I thought Uzo was a terrible pick for this role. I don't know. I got the idea that it was like a comedian at the beginning. The way he was acting and preaching with all his face and all his body, I'm like, what's this clown? What are you doing? And he was just And the only thing that looked even vaguely interesting was maybe the Benz that he was driving, perhaps that ugly GLE. At least it was big and white. At least it was big and white. But aside that, I don't think it really has a redeeming quality. I was very surprised because I remember that this movie came out in cinemas last year. So I was really surprised that this is what, got to the screens. I I just felt bad because surely the writer did not show another person or another writer the script. Because even just watching it, I could see like a billion ways that it could have been better. And it's just unfortunate that this is what we got. I don't even want to talk about the specifics of the murder and all. You guys have done a good job of covering other stuff. But there was a lot of rubbish that I saw. Yeah, and which you can also check out in my review on my page. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Akay Reviews. Okay. I was just trying to remember a weekend to forget. Did Richard Montana also get pregnant for somebody and
Yep.
the wife of the
Yes.
person
Yes.
also
Yes. Yes.
the
She
wife of the
was.
person also kill her?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. She
she
was
got
pregnant.
pregnant and
Yeah.
was killed.
Okay. By the wife of the person she
Yep.
got pregnant for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Great. All right. Let's go to the pushback section. If there's any pushback. I would say definitely I didn't like Uche Montana in this just because of I think she was a huge part of her role was doing this seduction thing and it just didn't work. She was playing somebody doing a bad version of, like if I was watching a film and inside that film somebody was playing somebody seducing, that's the kind of way I would expect. You know how when you watch in films, when they're watching other films or a soap, everybody has to overact or overdo something so that like that's bad. That's acting within the world that you're watching. Yeah, that's what it felt Uche Montana was doing for me for most of this film. And by the way, other pushback, Vanessa, Thinline, Funke did give them Everybody Loves Jennifer in the cinema. So at
Was that the same year?
Same year, yeah.
Oh,
Yes, it
damn it,
was
man.
Everybody Loves Jennifer and Thinline.
Oh,
yeah, and I
damn
can't.
it. Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
What
Sorry
a
to all
So
involved.
when you were saying that you
what a
wonder what they gave people, I was like,
yeah.
What a
Everybody
rough
Loves
year
Jennifer.
that must have been. Apologies to all involved. I didn't realize. I
I'm
didn't
not going.
realize what you
I'm
all
not.
were going through.
I'm not going to even venture what
What
Tony
you gave because that was the Alakada year, yeah?
was
Oh,
another
damn it.
word.
Ah.
It was
Yeah.
it was in the same month, Seth. In the same month in the
Yes, now I
cinema.
know it
Not
was
even
just
years. The
December.
same month. It was in
Apologies to
December.
all
Yeah,
End of
involved.
Alakada was
December.
the same one.
Wallahi, I didn't realize that that's what they gave you people. Apologies,
Maybe
apologies.
that's why this thing hit so much. I was like,
Sorry,
this
my
is
own
like,
I say
pushback. I
I
have
didn't
pushback.
venture. I saw the lineup. I was like, nothing is convincing.
Sorry,
yeah,
me, I have pushback.
yeah,
My
good.
pushback is to Ekwe reviews. I just want all of you to know that you people that don't believe in my babe's mission and in my babe's talent, all of you were introduced to my babe late. And again, I'm not saying that she's without her flaws. I do believe that Uche Montana is victim to the Nollywood curse. People with incredible potential are shoehorned into either one specific box or, for a lack of opportunity, end up stuck. And if you're not given anything to expand on your talent, you end up in a rut where you just do what you can to get by, and you then end up doing that what you can to get by forever, because at the end of the day it's emo. Those of us who were introduced to Uche Montana on African Magic's Hush, we were introduced to a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, new to the scene actress who had immense potential. She was incredibly talented, but beyond her talent, Uche Montana had incredible scene partners. Uche Montana was with Badge Adebule on AM Hush. She was with Meg Otanwa on AM Hush. She was with Adelaoye on AM Hush. She was with RMD on AM Hush. She was with incredible scene partners on that show. And so they pushed her to be she was fantastic on that show. It was back then when the African Magic shows had just begun and everyone was on their A game and everyone was giving an incredible performance. And her scene partners were better than her. And so she rose to the occasion. But then, like with most things in Nollywood, everyone sort of tapers off and then you get introduced to mainstream Nollywood. And your scene partners aren't as talented. Your scene partners are pretty much average and pretty much mid. And so you end up giving mid performances back to back to back that it becomes your new normal. And so what you people have now as Uche Montana's performances are what have been a result of what has followed from her appearance on Hush, the type of film she's been in. I genuinely believe that Uche Montana meets the film, which, to be honest, where will we find the film in this current Nollywood scene? Because we're lying at Wanukoto. We are in a pit and we cannot come outside. But had it been, it was when I still had faith in Nollywood and I still had hope. I genuinely back then believed if we had, I don't know if everything was right in the world and we had fantastic dialogue and an incredible script and a solid director and incredible scene partners. It genuinely just has to be everything right for it to be right. Yeah, that's my defense of Uche. It genuinely is just an amalgamation of a bunch of things. And I genuinely believe she is incredibly talented.
Sorry, I think you are outsourcing an awful lot of things to other people except the person that should be
No,
the talent.
I am not outsourcing. I do believe that a huge part of, and it's not just her who had that problem. A lot of people had that problem. There is the thing about buying into your own hype as well, right? That I cannot outsource for her. There's a thing about buying into your own hype, and part of when you buy into your own hype and you believe that you are, of which she is, and you can buy into your own hype to a certain extent, but once you believe that everything you do as an actress is right, there is no room for improvement. And I think that's what happens when they now end up stuck in a rut, because if you believe that what you've been doing works, why fix it? Why try to be better? So I'm not outsourcing that part of the problem, but a huge part of it is also the fact that she's been stuck in mediocre work ever since and hasn't been given a chance to flex any bit of muscle.
Okay. Just one listing for that particular point. In my defense, I had never heard of Uche Montana until I saw Bjorn Stevens' Bridges and
That's
Ivy.
why I said a lot of you who have a problem with her were not introduced to her at the beginning of your career. Of her career. It's just so I'm not. Yeah.
But see, weirdly, I had also never heard of Munachi, Abe, or the other guy. Like, I didn't know pretty much anyone in that movie at all.
So
But,
who you know?
But somebody struck out to me as being weirdly bad at acting, and it was Uche Montana. I'm like, why is she talking like that? Why does her voice go low and high at the weirdest times? Sometimes she's whispering, sometimes she's shouting. I'm like, is that normal?
So
why is she doing that?
The director work with her?
Well, why did they not why did Munachi Abe not talk like that too? I mean, if you're an actor,
But
I
that's
cannot.
what I'm saying. Everyone has the things that they do wrong. Everyone has crutches that they rely on in acting, and it's dependent on the director to fix it.
Okay.
Also, Munachi has been in the industry much longer than her. And so I'm very surprised that you do not know Munachi and you
Now
have
why
not
I ask
seen
and say who
Taye.
you
And
know?
are you serious? Roses
I
and
don't know
Who
anybody.
you know?
Nobody.
I feel like
I
some
tell you,
people
don't know
should start
anybody.
Go and
speaking
start
in certain
learning these
actors
people,
if they have
because
started seeing them in Roses and Ivy.
Please, I don't need
Did
to
you
know
watch
them to review the
LIT?
movie.
You didn't see Munachi in Living in Bondage too.
Oh yes.
Munachi
But
has been acting
I
like
just saw the movie last month. I just saw Living in Bondage 2 like last month.
Are you
So
serious?
yeah, I wanted to review it, but it was just too
everybody,
bad. I
let's
just
go
left
home.
it.
Please,
Anyway,
I beg,
no. But you know what?
you
Everything
guys.
is fine.
Please,
Everything is fine. No.
I'm sorry, but there are some actors that I actually will just not speak on if I have not seen them in enough projects over the years. It's just something I
No.
do.
So, Olana, what I've come to accept now from this conversation is my time has come to an end. It's time for me to retire.
No, I just will not speak on certain people because
I'm too old. I'm too old for this
what
shit.
do you mean
And
you
we need
haven't
certain
seen
people like
Munachi?
Ekwe
You haven't
who have not
seen
been jaded by the industry
Roses and
long
Ivy.
enough.
I'm sorry, but if you're introduced to like any performer, any actor in Nollywood from maybe like from projects from like 2018, 2019, I don't know if I should listen to you and say, you know what you're talking about. Because
But
you are
wait.
lacking severe context.
Yes, but wait. Unfortunately, you do not need a context to be
Wait, wait,
entertained.
You
wait.
do
I don't
need
need
that. I'm sorry,
I
but
don't
you
need
do
to
need
know the
context.
last 10
Conversation.
years.
This
You do need
But
conversation
you
is
do
context.
need
hard.
Because
you do
okay,
need
for
some
instance, now
certain
the
level of
Nadia
knowledge
Buhari
about the
that
industry.
Oh, I forgot I had mute buttons. This has been long. All
Ekene
right.
Badamasi. I come and mute me. Can you mute me? No. And I'll mute.
All right. Alana, you had your hand up previously. Let's. Yeah.
I did have my hand up. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm sorry. I just heard things that kind of shut me down for some time because like this is giving when we are talking like old rap, and then when you're talking about LL Cool J, someone's like LL Cool J is not good because like maybe you saw him from something like the later years of his career, and you're like, well, I don't need context. Sometimes you do, but like moving on. As regards the writing in this, like I'm standing on existing protocol. By existing protocol, I mean the things that Vanessa mentioned about all the ills in Nollywood. I'm sorry, but we have really good actors. We do have some really good actors who have been so unfortunate. Like mind my forgive my words, but they have been so unfortunate to be thrown into Nollywood at a time when, for some reason, the writing, directing is just not coming together. And so their talent is being squandered on mediocrity. Like, like Vanessa said, I also have been through a lot of trauma over this weekend. I watched Falling Notes. I watched what do they call that? It's a love in every word. I think the weekend gave me some respite yesterday, but I completed Thinline sadly also this weekend. So I've been through a lot. And so having listen to certain things like, oh, this person, it's really not their fault. There are some people that I've started making because I'm like, I've seen you before in some, decent things. And now, like, you can only be as good as your script. When we were saying this thing that the script goes a long way, people were telling us that forget scripts. If you just get good cameraman, cinematography is popping. Once they get the right, what do they call it? The right clothes, the right outfits, the right art direction. Farmer's Bride had a lot of these things, but the story fell flat. And when we say story is king as far as cinema is concerned, the first thing you're looking at is story. You can have a not so good actor and you give them maybe a story that is good and you may maybe overlook certain things. But if your story is bad, if your characterization is bad, there is only so much a decent actor can do to elevate that story. Like and there is such a thing like, what do they even call it? Diminishing returns. And that's why I said that you need context. Because if you watch, for instance, before 30, some years back, and you come back to watch after 30, you will really think that a lot of these people in this movie, they've deteriorated. But did they deteriorate? No. Did the script deteriorate? Yes. And I don't even know where this issue is coming from. Because sometimes, honestly, as much as I want to say, oh, the writer, I know how much producers and directors and other higher placed persons as far as movie production goes, how much they can actually affect a script. So sometimes you can write one thing and then by the time you see finished work, the thing is looking different from what you remember. Maybe only 30% of what was written has made it to the actual big screen, and then next thing we'll gather here and we'll start swearing for writer. Like Nollywood, it's like we have so much potential, and I was talking about how pained I am by where we have landed as a nation, as an industry, because we are a people that back in the day, when you look at things that we did before, you still see it's still relevant today because a lot of it was still good. But now, like, you watch things now, you're like, if in 20 years now, can I come back and watch Thinline? No. Can I come back and watch Farmer's Bride? I will be wondering what were we even looking at, safe. And it's because I don't even know if it's the quality. I don't know if there has been maybe I can't even say it's because we've been inundated with Hollywood, because even back then we were watching Hollywood too. But now everything has just fallen flat, and there's only so much this good actors. I can name so many of them that they are actually very good. But there's only so much you can do when what you are working with is just not it. So please, we are tired. It's labor of love that we are doing in this Nollywood. We are just watching stuff because me now, I'm so sorry. It had me to watch things where black people no day. It had me, I no go lie. So I just watch Nollywood because that's like the main thing for me. And watching something that could be so much better, because a lot of these stories, it could have been elevated. You could see something that they wanted to do and they're not doing it. So a lot of these stories, they can be elevated if they would just ask the right people. Again, hire me as your white guy, please. Hire me as your white guy. So I'll ask why we are where we are, because somebody needs to start asking questions. I beg. It's so tiring. Please, guys, hire me.
All right. Thanks, Oman. BSAS. Not, it's by mistake you entered, to be honest, because I finished good and bad, but what's on your mind?
All right. Thank you. Can I go now? Am I
Yes.
audible?
Yes, you're audible.
All right. Thank you very much. So, I want to ask, is it every week that, you hold this piece, or just once in a while? Because I've been seeing it, but maybe once in a while, sha. So how often do you hold it? Is it every week?
Yeah, it's every week. It's every week, Sunday, 6 p.m. once.
Okay. Same time, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, concerning the discussion, you see, I'm also a writer, by the way. So I'm working on a lot of things. I think the entire Nollywood is based on, it's not lack of talent. We have very good talents, upcoming. In fact, talent is everywhere when it comes to acting. Talent is everywhere, irrespective of whether the person is upcomer. If you even do audition like this, you will see a lot of people with potential and all. But just like somebody has said, the issue is with the script. And I'm struggling to accept that we don't have good writers. But maybe we don't have. Maybe that's just the issue, because even if you see all these majority of Hollywood productions, you see that majority of them too, they are also not good enough. Well, to me, majority of them, they're also not good enough. They just use hype and everything to, why the good writers are not meeting the right producers should not be the question, because I'm very sure that we have good writers, irrespective of the fact that for having a good story, seeing a good story is very hard. And also, majority of the producers, a lot of them, they are not, I don't think they are writers. So they are easily satisfied by the script that is handed to them by the writer, instead of them questioning it like, oh, this script is subpar. But to them, they are also not writers. They are easily impressed by mediocre scripts. So whatever they get, they just, they treat everything as content. We can just walk around this, we do camera with this, people go chop on, which is not supposed to be like that. And also, these big actors, they also have to, maybe because they also have to feed their family, because they weigh scripts, they weigh name and what they are working with before they go with producers or the scripts. Unfortunately, the better script might not find a good producer with a deep pocket. So now the mediocre script unfortunately find a producer with a deep pocket, and they will just assemble a lot of high profile cast, and due to that, people, oh, who am I working with? That's just what a lot of people, a lot of actors, that's what a lot of them, that's what they're after. Who am I working with? Which producer is this? That's all. They don't care about, let's say, the script. Like, there was, I don't want to mention name, there was one Yoruba Nollywood actor, very, very good in terms of acting. But when you see his production, stories and everything, although in the olden days, maybe he actually went through with some, people enjoyed it, but lately when it comes to cinema and stuff, he has been flopping. So now, there is one very good actress too. When people were rating that movie, it was very bad. The rating was very, very, very bad. And you can still see this particular actress coming out to thank the producer that, oh, I'm very honored to be on your set. The work is nice and this and that. And I was like, oh my, you don't know that what you people came together to do was just trash. In fact, watching it, I'm not even forgiving myself for wasting my time on that particular movie.
Sorry,
Because it's just like an
BSAS.
insult to my intelligence.
Sorry,
So
BSAS.
I think maybe when other people coming up, maybe when they take the mantle and they can redefine all this story. But truth be told, good stories are actually hard to come by. Maybe because good writers are not coming up, they are not confident enough to showcase their scripts, or people just stick with their production team. They don't want anybody to come in between them. They just trust their production team like that. So maybe that's just it. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thanks. All right. Maybe we'll have next week. We'll do another session. I have a topic on mind for 1 week that, especially if I have a look at some movies. Although there was one movie I saw on Prime, it's just I didn't see it advertised anywhere. Maybe I'll have a watch of it. If it's decent, we might discuss it. There's one Nollywood movie I saw on Prime. It's just that nobody's talking about it, which means it might be good. So I have a look. I'll watch first, and then we'll see whether that we can discuss about that next week. But happy to do summary next. Other than that, is there something in your mind before we do our summaries?
Yes, please. There's something on my mind. First of all, the whole idea, I wanted to correct the perception that producers just are impressed by anything and they just like put it out. I wanted to correct that because what is most common is not so much producers being impressed with the scriptwriter's work, but thinning it out. It's a lot of you could submit a script that is probably very rich, and then before you know it, somebody's telling you, well, this one cannot happen in Nigeria, bam. Well, we don't have budgets for this one, bam. Well, this one, what do you mean that, like I'm very sure at this point that people have brought up the whole idea of sexual assault in Nollywood, and somebody just thinks that it's something people can laugh about, bam, they remove it. So sometimes it's not even, that's why I say before I think about the writer, I think about the producers, but more importantly, I would I would like to actually call out the real culprits in the state of Nollywood today. It's not the writers, it's not the producers, it's the audience. The audience have hyped rubbish. They have been the chief butchers in this thing that we call Nollywood, because we are here crying about movies. We are here crying about, oh, this movie is not up to par. Oh, they wasted 3 hours of my time. But when you finish crying about this thing, you will read the TL and people are telling barefaced lies. I'm telling you, this is either severe psychosis or like people are just, you will see a movie that was a waste of anybody's 2 hours, 3 hours, 30 minutes. And then you will go to the TL. You go to YouTube. I got YouTube. They need to nuke that place. You will go to YouTube comment sections and people are there shouting that somebody should get a Grammy for nonsense performance. You get there and like, at a point you'll be reading things and these people are literally gaslighting you. So please, as a producer, as a filmmaker, even if I do put out rubbish, If my immediate vicinity, if the primary audience, to the best of my knowledge, is telling me that You Go Boy is the greatest thing I've watched, I've never seen a performance this great, obviously I will not feel that there is anything wrong. And I will think that anybody else that is saying anything different must just be a hater. And then you start saying, that's when you start saying things like, oh, go and shoot your own, or go and do your own. Or even you're trying to bring up, for instance, now you're talking about these sexual assault scenes. Somebody will now come and tell you that it's just a movie. Like, these things are normalizing what should be abnormal. Because you watch a movie today, we can't keep doing it's just a movie at some point, because it's just a movie, it's just a movie. That's why till today they call KOK now Instacre. That's why they call Mama G. They say, oh, Mama G is an evil mother-in-law. It's just a movie, but these things are imprinted in people's minds. And if you show people enough times that, oh, this thing is normal, this thing is not something that you should look into, they will go out in real life and start thinking, it's normal. People see opportunities to like teach something, to show something differently, to tell people that, oh, you can do things differently. Oh, this thing is sexual assault. And they gloss over it. They make nonsense of it. But if you still come and show us what do they call it? That in Afamefuna, that the next thing, if you still come and be shouting, oh, patriarchy, waiting they call that is patana, DNA issue, that's the one that will be sweeting Nigerians. Like, we cannot keep saying that this filmmaker should do more when there is nothing on ground that shows that the people are tired of the mediocrity. The audience is the chief butcher of this industry, and they are the reason why Nollywood will continue to languish in mediocrity and will continue to be nothing but nonsense local champions. They will give people money, the kind of money. You should see the money that they are giving South Africa, and you see the quality of movies that they release. You cannot compare it to what we are watching in this place. And all we are looking for is 50% of that same effort that we see from a country like South Africa. And they are telling you that you don't even deserve it, because after all, somebody from wherever came and said that it was the greatest cinematic thing they have ever seen in their lives. You cannot seek like excellence if the people themselves are not excellent. These filmmakers are a result of Nigeria itself. And when you're in a country where there is no what do they call it? Nobody elevates excellence. Nobody's looking for excellence. Obviously, this is the kind of rubbish you'll be watching, and then the 2% of the country that believes that things can be better, they will just be crying inside the wilderness. So please, before we even talk about filmmakers, let's start dragging all these nonsense audience members, because now then they spoil industry pass.
That's actually that's interesting. Dragging audience members. All right. Thanks, on. I just wanted to say that. So I remember the first time I discussed the use of sexual assault in Nollywood films. I will never forget this. I always remind you guys who listen to NFC that the first time I brought it up on NFC, a female filmmaker and female Nollywood filmmaker was like, "Hey, leave that in alone." Like, what's there to talk about? My first instinct was, oh, there's a lack of care and thought when we handle sexual assault, in our films. That was my first thought. And it's not wrong. It's just a level 1. It's just the level 1 theory. The level 2 theory is that it's just one of the other things that is just bad writing in Nollywood. It's just that now it's with something that one would think should be treated more seriously. But with our writing, we don't care. But having said that, in all of this, there's loads of sexual assaults that have been just done because it's just so easy to put, oh, we want to make you feel sorry for somebody. We just throw it in there and it doesn't mean anything, or you just use it for 2 seconds and everybody moves on. It's just something that people filmmakers just think we can just throw in there. There have been 2, I think, to my memory now, there's only one other example of sexual assault in a film that has been as bad as this, because this is special in the sense that we don't know. Again, I'm saying to you that I don't think the filmmakers don't know that what happened to this person is sexual assault. And that's a scary thing, because I feel like in people's heads, what I'm thinking is that just too many people involved. And honestly, I'm including actors who read the script. It's like, is nobody thinking, hey, this guy got assaulted. Are we going to, or like, can we not just make this guy like, fall for this woman or like something? Like, why has it got to be sexual assault? Because like nothing else in the script is indicating that this guy has been sexually assaulted. There's just nothing in here. This means that a lot of people who put their heads to give us this product have overlooked this, and that's kind of worrying. But like, it really might be a mirror to our society in terms of thinking of how much, well, it's not a big deal if somebody gets drugged and I'm thinking in their head, is somebody get drugged and they have sex? Cause I think that's what it is in their head. Somebody gets drugged and they have sex, rather than somebody gets drugged and, gets taken advantage of, gets raped. Right? I think that's what people think. I don't know, maybe it's because there's a guy in this instance. That's why it's not registering. But the other example I can think of is Anikulakwo, where again, it happened to Kunle Remi's character. He was in the jungle. I can't remember. It was like walking in the night, and then just he gets cornered and gets sat on. Yeah. I mean, there's something, I mean, if you look at like what actually happens in the Nigerian society, you can see that it's actually an issue. This has not come from nowhere. There used to be a time we used to make the complaints about it in our jokes, in our comedians' jokes. Not too many people have rang the alarm of it in our films, but now it's happening, and I think people need to really, really, really pay more attention. Just because this happened to a guy this time doesn't mean the problem isn't there, because I think it's very easy for somebody to think, for you to go, well, if this was a woman, like, this is very, 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 the extra badness, right? The extra, lack of security, the extra other negative things that would get attached, but it's still very bad, but it hasn't really processed in too many people's heads. I think a lot of people need to really sit down and think about it. I really mean from writer to director to actors, everybody involved that saw all of the things from beginning to end to make up this character, this particular plot point, and it end up in the way it did. I think people need to really go back, sit down, and reevaluate their psyches, to be honest. The person who wrote this film, you have a lot of therapy to do, to be honest, to unwind what's going on in your life. That's a different case. But yeah. Anyway, I want to leave it at that. That would be my summary, but let's go around and do the summary regardless. Alana, do you want to give us your summary really quickly? Vanessa, do you want to give us your summary?
Sure, why not? This was a complete waste of time. How many minutes of agony was this? Everybody involved in this genuinely seek help. Yeah, I don't know. Don't watch it. If you unfortunately used your 5,000 naira to go and watch it in the cinema, I apologize. The rest of you, don't waste your data. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. I don't know if Alana is back. If not, okay. Alana, do you want to give us your summary?
Yeah. Vanessa, it was like 7K that people used. I'm not sure it was 5K, but yeah. And yeah, this was a very exhausting watch. Um, the characters didn't have strong motivations. The acting was not good. The premise of the story was off. The characterization was bad. Like, it was just generally a very difficult watch, and it lacked tact. So yeah, I don't know if anybody should actually watch this because there's little or nothing to gain from watching it. But if you are loosening your hair or you are just, I don't know, walking around aimlessly, perhaps you can just put it on to watch, but it's not worth it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Alana. Pisas, I don't know whether you watched it to give a summary. If you did, this is the chance. If not, Mrs. C, do you want to give us your summary?
Yeah, this was bad. And just egregious handling of essay. Let's not do this again. Let's not.
Yeah. My summary is, I said I've done a lot of my summary. I think there's sometimes, we watch bad movies and because they're, badly put together, the story is bad. Like this is that. And also I think it can do harm. So that's a key difference for me. This is a strong don't recommend from me. I wouldn't recommend this, at all. I don't know if Akwe is here. If Akwe is here, as a speaker.
Sorry, my line went off before. This is a summary for Thinline, right?
Yes, summaries. Yes.
Okay. Well, I think and I recognize that it's supposed to be, for me, it's supposed to be maybe more of a modern mystery. But in summary, it's just like it's a modern mystery that forgot to be mysterious.
All right. Thanks, Akwe. All right. Thanks, everybody. And next Sunday we come again. Until then, take care of yourselves. Do self-love if you need to. Practice self-love if you need to. We wouldn't be mad here. Please take care of yourself and maybe see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.